Why do I choose fire for my practice? Something that can be so easily destructive, so hurtful, and so dangerous, also holds a mirror of warmth, light, and beauty. To hold this balance is to walk the fine line of creation. In order to grasp this strength is the ability to walk between two worlds.
My name is Tyler. I am 28 years old. I am two-spirited. I am also a musician, a photographer, a videographer, fire dancer, auntie, uncle, whatever you want to call me.
Hi, my name's Emilee. I'm 26 years old and I am from Prince George, BC, but I moved to Red Deer, Alberta when I was 15 years old. I identify as a whole lot of things. I identify as two-spirit, as bisexual, a friend, a sister, a daughter, a niece, all kinds of things. I'm all of it.
My name is Shannon Humphrey. I use all pronouns. As long as you don't call me late for dinner, I'm pretty happy.
I grew up urban indigenous, coming from a small town called Torrington, moving into a slightly larger town called Red Deer, Alberta. I am Cree, Métis, and Vietnamese on my mother's side. So the culture was definitely there. It was just never really taught to us. So I grew up without culture for a very long time, very lost, very hopeless of where I wanted to be around this age. I didn't really see myself living past 20, right? So there was no plan for anything like that until my later years. My mother is a refugee from Vietnam, from after the war. So knowing that growing up, there was always a whisper in my shoulder to keep pushing forward for that. Pushing through school, pushing through these opportunities that my mom never got to have at this age. So I think I get a lot of that tenacity from her.
I come from Enoch Cree Nation, but I grew up in Sundre, spent some time in Lethbridge, and then moved to Red Deer, did a business degree and a justice studies degree. And now working as a two-spirit program keeper, and I don't know, I identify as a lot of things, but I think the two that I kind of really lean into are my Cree identity and my two-spirit identity, for sure. I know that I always really appreciate when I can just be authentic. And I always really appreciate when I see other people being really, really visible. And I think one of the most powerful experiences we've had this year, actually, is going to one of our mental health conferences, and all of the teachers had made a point of wearing their pride shirts. And I said to our team, I was like, you know, I've never felt so seen. And so I try to make a point of being that person for other people, because I know how much visibility matters, and I know how much it means to me to have people who represent me in a good way. So I really try to be that person for other people. The thing about being two-spirit is that it's an identity that changes daily. It's very, very fluid. So I think a lot of that two-spirit identity comes from trying to understand myself and where I come from. You know, one of the people that I talk to quite a lot is my cousin, and what she shared with me was that her teachings are a little bit older and can be seen as outdated, but they're still good teachings. And she said, you know, like, sometimes I really hesitate to share these things because I'm afraid of how they're going to be taken. Or I don't necessarily want to occupy that space in a group of queer people because she's not. And I think what was really powerful in that conversation is I had asked her, is it more about how we embody the teachings that we receive?
What way you look at it, there's always going to be people who are angry or distasteful or lacking that understanding. So there also needs to be education into those communities as well. Like, I shouldn't have to over-explain myself for being queer or over-explain myself for being Indigenous, but I have to. Got to walk into a room with a picture of my mom just to prove I'm Indigenous sometimes, you know? Nobody can tell them who and what they are. Nobody can. That is them. Every person is their own person, and you can't tell anybody who they are. It's not fair, and if you feel like you deserve to claim a space, you more than likely do. If it's something that you're passionate about or something that is so important to you and it feels like it's a part of you, then own it and claim it, and don't listen to people who think they can tell you who and what you are, because they can't. At the end of the day, you're the one who goes to bed in your body, in your brain, in your heart. You're the one who wakes up every day in your brain, your body, and your heart. You determine that. Nobody else gets to.
Why fire? The inherent chaos of its nature teaches a type of balance that should be found within all elements that Apache Mama provides, yet is easily forgotten when it comes to the flare of her soul. When treated as nothing but a resource to control, the spirit will swallow you whole in order to take back her sovereignty. When treated as a relative, one learns to dance alongside this grand spirit as one would with a lover, to follow her movements, to allow her to guide yours, to become one with creation.
I am a two-spirit warrior.
I am the outcome of unconditional love, of two fathers showing me the true strength of fluidity.
I'm a learner, a teacher, a storyteller, a coach, and a parent. I am the passion of fluidity between our elements that allow visibility and meaningful change that empowers individuals to take ownership of their most authentic identities.
Hate, violence, racism, and discrimination are all taught behaviors that can be untaught. Any belief that strips away a human's right to truly be happy and free in their body is the truest form of destruction. As a flame that is being controlled, it is time to swallow this hatred whole in order to find our way back to creation again.
I am Shannon.
I am Emilee.
I am Tyler,
And
I
I
walk
walk between two worlds.